Hello and welcome to another edition of the Horror Debate. My name is Jeff Rowdy Jake here, and alongside me, as always, Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing Hostel Part 2, or Hostel as European pronunciation works.
Hostel?
Hostel.
Is that like when your hostess goes nuts?
No, that's
she goes hostel?
That's when the person who brings you your mail goes nuts.
I thought that was postal.
Yeah.
All right.
It's directed by Eli Roth and starring Bijou Phillips.
Yeah.
Related to Mackenzie Phillips from One Day at a Time.
We just saw this in the theater tonight.
Theater.
Or the theater, as I like to call it. And, we had high expectations for this thing because we
did?
We actually kind of liked the first one, right?
Yeah, we kind of did.
I dug the first one, with the exception, there was one thing I didn't really care for about it, and that was that it was like a porno at the beginning, right?
It was Girls Gone Wild.
It was Girls Gone Wild.
The Europe edition.
But we kind of figured that Eli was going to, turn that around, and we were going to get something pretty darn good this time around. And I'd have to say it didn't disappoint me too much, man. I was pretty riveted the entire time. I really enjoyed the new twist he put on everything, and it was sort of more of the same, but sort of not. And it was more from a female perspective this time.
This film.
Whereas before it was from kind of a male perspective. So I kind of like how he switched that up. What do you think? Yeah,
that was definitely a good way of keeping it, a good idea for a sequel. I mean, because in a sequel, the problem is a lot of people make the same movie over. And we don't want that. We want something, show me something different.
Right.
But if it's totally different, then we get all mad. This isn't like the first one at all.
Right.
Making a sequel is a really tricky thing.
Well, and I think that's where he did really well. That he definitely
gave us the same thing.
The continuation was it was perfect, really. Yeah. I mean, they even used one of the same characters from the first movie.
Yeah, carried over
to lead it in. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be tough not to give away any spoilers because this movie, there's so much I would love to talk about in this movie.
Well, the one thing we were saying was bad about the first, well, not bad, but it took about an hour to get to the actual film in the first one.
Right.
This one starts off in 5 minutes. You've already been grabbed and sucked into this.
Oh
film.
yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty cool twist at the beginning.
There's a scene like somewhere towards the beginning that just will blow your freaking mind, man. And
it's cool.
It involves a kitty.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm gonna say. And I loved it, man. It was so graphic and so. Just kind of in your face, man. I loved it, Yep. Good cinematography on this thing, too, I thought. Capturing the scenes with the intensity that they were, thought of, the way they were conceived.
And another thing, a lot of people criticize Eli Roth, telling you, oh, he's a hack, he's terrible, and this film, the camera work was really smooth. And seamless. I mean, most horror films, to generate tension, they use the handheld camera and they shake it up a lot.
Right.
And this one, he used it very sparingly. He didn't need to jerk the camera
I was
around,
noticing some cool kind of pans happening, in some of those scenes, and I was really paying attention to the camera work in this one.
The camera work was really smooth, and even the music was not in your face. It was just there to highlight certain emotions and things.
Absolutely.
And like I said before the last film, each film he makes is getting better.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't dislike Eli at all. I think he's pretty darn good. I think he's got a lot of great ideas, original ideas, I don't know if we're going to go for a Hostel Part 3. I think this may have run its course.
Yeah, I think so.
But this was certainly enjoyable, and anybody who even thought about liking the first one should definitely check this one out. I thought the characters were well developed. You cared about them. I keep saying it over and over again. If you care about the characters, the movie's going to work for you. And this one developed them very well, I thought.
One thing that kind of scared me was the fact that Quentin Tarantino's name is on this, and we all know Quentin likes to write. He likes to write words and dialogue, and sometimes Quentin gets a little carried away. I mean, for example, in Grindhouse, they just talked, and just because someone is saying words doesn't mean character development.
Right.
I mean, they could talk about this, that, and the other thing, but it doesn't make you care.
Quentin usually doesn't spend a whole lot of time letting you know the background of his characters, does he?
He just lets you're like a fly on the wall, watching people talk about their mundane lives going on, and then something totally different happens. It's like he's padding the film time with just having people talk for no reason.
Right.
That's reason. At the beginning, he had them talk about interesting things. Oh, really? A Royale with cheese? That's pretty interesting. And he would go places. But lately, he seems to be just writing, I think, to just see his words on paper and giving them to characters. But this film, what the characters said, there really was no wasted space, really, in this film.
Right. Right.
So I like
you know, the honest truth is that I was entertained for the full time of the movie. I was never bored. I was never sitting there looking at my watch.
Yeah.
And that says a lot for a sequel, especially. You know, I got to say, you know, it's quality goods.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know that we could get another movie out of this whole kind of same deal going on. But, you know, in all honesty, number 2 was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
It can stand on its own.
Well, another thing I liked about this film was most horror films nowadays, which started with the John Carpenter Halloween, is the bad guy, the killers, are emotionless, faceless, and everything. It's just a mindless type thing.
Right.
But here, they humanize the people who are doing the bad things. I mean,
Right.
you get more character development out of the bad guys
Yeah.
than you do the people you're supposed to be caring
Absolutely.
about.
Now,
and that was a really cool twist.
I gotta say that I really loved the 2 businessmen who were going into the establishment to do the deed, so to speak. I really loved the kind of the talk, the rapport those 2 guys had.
Yeah.
Where the smaller guy was getting kind of squeamish, he didn't want to really do it, you know.
And the buddy's going, "Come on, dude."
And the
you can
guy's
do it."
like, "Oh man, it's gonna change your life. You know, imagine how powerful we'll be after we do."
You know, people will fear us. You know, I mean, it's
And I guess in the business world, you know, that's
what you want.
That's what you want. So, yeah, but you know, like I said, man, I really enjoyed it. I thought the jive between all of the characters just worked. The 3 girls.
I also like the
Worked
fact
really
that
well.
they showed you the process from beginning to end.
Exactly.
These girls check into this hotel, and he faxes
Exactly.
their stuff out to the people, and they start a bidding war
Yeah.
to see if these people are worth taking.
And that was something kind of that was lost in the first movie a little bit.
The first movie, it was just these are the faceless
Yeah.
people you don't know, and just hi,
Yeah.
here I am. I'm
Better
your killer.
fleshed out.
I'm your killer for today.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, I got to say, Mike, you know, I thought it was pretty impressive. I think Eli's going pretty strong here.
The only thing that did not impress me on this was, well, the only naked chick you saw was the one you didn't want to
I
see.
thought we were out of the gutter on this one. I thought you weren't going to mention that. I do have to say the way she was killed was interesting.
Oh yeah, the Countess Elizabeth Bathory.
The bloodbath. That was
that's what it is.
interesting.
Well, because Countess Elizabeth Bathory, back in the 16th or 17th century Romania, she thought she would stay young forever by bathing in the blood of virgins.
Oh, so
And obviously that girl was definitely a
I'd
virgin.
say she was a virgin. Yeah.
And
yeah.
also points to Eli Roth for casting someone who didn't look like they were an extra on a Fox WB network show.
Well, you know what's
she
kinda
actually
funny?
looked human.
Look at the males in this movie, Mike. Look at the males. I mean, where did he go to get these guys? Like WWE matches or something?
I don't know, but yeah, the
these
guy
were
had
some
big
pretty
old buck teeth.
big burly looking dudes,
Yeah.
man. I mean, you know, and
Well, not
and,
only that, but just the ordinary people they were dancing with in the city. These people looked Romanian.
Yeah.
They looked European. I mean, buck teeth and kind of dorky looking, and some of them, and some didn't. But I just
Right.
meant it didn't look like it didn't look like a prom at Beverly Hills High School.
Right. I agree. He made it very real. I mean, he made it very real.
I kind of like the European look of these films.
Props to Eli for doing that. You know, hey, I can't say much bad about it, Mike. I'm giving it 4.
Yeah. I think I will too.
I'm giving it 4.
I'll give
I
it-
think it's a strong 4. I think it lived up to what we expected. It continued the story perfectly from the first movie. Had believable characters.
Gave us something a little different.
A little bit different. There's a good twist on it. Good rapport between the characters. The writing was good. You know, even the effects, the gore effects were excellent. I mean, did you see that dude after that dog mauled him?
Oh yeah.
I mean, or the dogs mauled him? I mean, that was great.
There was even a little bit of humor in it that didn't take away from the film that made you groan. Oh my God! It was just like, hey, the dude's doing a Hannibal Lecter.
No. Talk about squeamish. If you're squeamish and you're
you
male,
won't.
okay, when the little businessman, I'm going to call him the midget businessman, when he gets his towards the end of the flick, if you are male and you are squeamish,
The little businessman was Roger Bart.
yeah, who cares? You're gonna run out the theater, man. Or theater.
I knew you'd
You're
say
gonna
that.
run. You're gonna run. I mean, it was so nasty, dude. And
just say-
then the dogs get back in the swing of it.
This is not the film
Oh.
to get romantic to. Let's put it that way.
Man, if you're anywhere near scissors for like the next
This is
week,
Lorena
you're
Bobbitt's
gonna
favorite film.
You're gonna think about this movie. If you are near scissors,
Yeah,
in any way, shape, or form, you'll be at work.
This film gets an Oscar from Lorena Bobbitt.
You'll be at work cutting something for your boss, and you'll think of this movie for at least the next month. Okay, I just want to put that out there. Go see this movie. You'll enjoy it. 4 stars.
All right, I'm Michael Mandy. He's Rowdy Jeff. We will talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.